Check 1, 2. All right, let's go. Duh, not yet. All right, here's this. Close that. Hello, good morning. It is Wednesday, October 16th, and I am that developer dad. My name is Rob, and all that good stuff. And last week we managed to get the DMs tools, the product that I'm going to call the DMs Familiar, excuse me, set up and launched, or not launched, but to a place where I would consider it a minimum viable product with emphasis on the viable part. It's automatically deployable as I make changes. I'm going to need to make some tweaks once it goes live so that when I push, it first goes to a test environment and then I can give it a quick once over and make sure everything's good and then flip the switch and bounce things over to the new version kind of thing. But those changes are going to be relatively minor, just waiting for some real life stuff to happen so that I can do that actual work. So this week, I started designing the administrative system. It's going to include some kind of user portal for myself to use, just so that I've got a single, just so that I can minimize the number of different user interfaces that I have to interact with while doing things like codifying the subscription model, supporting customers, stuff like that. And this week is all about capturing and documenting my use cases. If I can find the pages that I want to be working in, I'll send that down below because I'm not actually going to be doing any software development this week. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot inside, a whole awful lot inside of Visual Studio this week. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post this and I'm going to pin it. And we'll do that. And I'm just going to add another message. This week's goal. Document the use cases. I'm just going to say brainstorm. And document the use cases for this admin system. Today's focus is going to be on, let's go here. I'm going to pop open the use cases in a new window. Here we go. Pull this over here, just so that I've got them listed on screen here. Today's focus is on pause and resume subscription. Then discontinue subscription if time and discussion allow. All right. So I guess the first thing I should do is share my screen. I'm doing all of this documentation work as markdown files, and I'm just doing the work directly inside GitHub right now. I need more monitors, man. Holy smokes. So I've got my manifest of use cases. I've opened that in a different window just so that I can have it on screen on my secondary monitor and do the thing, have it to refer to. And then, of course, I'm sharing the primary monitor so that I can share what I'm doing as I do it. And we're just kind of talking through these use cases as I go. So let's take a look. We'll quickly review new customer sign up. All I'm doing is listing out in plain language the steps and some notes, things that we need to keep in mind that make up the process. And, you know, happy paths, unhappy paths, so on. And if we look at subscription renewal, we can see that I've added unhappy path in some places and happy path in others. So I'm going to go back to new customer sign up. We're going to edit. And I'm going to say happy path. Happy path. Unhappy path. And do the exact same thing over here. And I think I goofed some stuff up here. Because if you have space, star, star, and markdown, it breaks the regular expression or however the markdown parser does its magic and makes it no longer bold. Happy path, unhappy path. I need to add some spaces on those. So I'll do this. And down here on unhappy path, 2 spaces usually enforces a line break. Preview. That's better. Here we go. Much better. All right. Let's have a sip of coffee. Commit these changes to the repository. I'm not going to put a commit description on every single one of them. All right, we need to add pause and resume subscription.md. Boop. Oh, yep. And I'm just going to give it a header. Pause and resume subscription. And I'll need to back, add a link, /docs/use cases.md back to use case list. Preview, looking good. I'm going to open this link in a new window, make sure it goes to the right place, and it does. Beautiful. Edit, capitalize, pause, and I'm going to commit these changes just to establish that this file exists. And what the heck, we'll add another one. Continue subscription.md. Discontinue subscription. And back /docs/use cases.md back to use case list. And that gives us a horizontal rule. I'm going to commit the changes. Commit. Good. Now I need to come out to use cases. I'm going to edit and pause and resume subscription. Docs/use-cases/pause and resume subscription.md. Detailed, pause and resume steps. Oof. Discontinue subscription /docs use cases. Continue subscription subscription.md. Detailed discontinue steps. And commit. All right, let's go to pause and resume. And we'll edit it. Admin UI. I want to do this. Process. And we're going to make that an H2. Process 1. Pause, resume. Subscription process is always initiated by a human, either customer or administrator. 2. The person, I'm just going to say person instead of human, navigates to their subscription management UI, either within ecom service or admin system. 3, enters the date to pause and optionally the date to resume. 4, completes the interaction by submitting the form. That's a little too detailed. Initiated by a person, and I want to do this because I'm doing the ordered list wrong. Let's make sure that's going to work. Oh no, it's not. Let's preview that. All right. Person navigates to the subscription management UI, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Close enough. Jinkies. 2. The data is sent to the ecom services backend system where it is processed. Internal details. 3, ecom system sends a event message to the admin system via webhook invocation. 4, admin system updates that person's local account details. 5 during the paused time if the person logs in, they will not be able to access to use any of the paid features of the application. Now, I feel like I should define what features are paid and what features are free, and for how long things will stick around after somebody discontinues, stuff like that. So I'm going to commit these changes. And that looks pretty good. Excuse me. But I'm going to add another new file. And it's actually going to be, yeah, I want to discard those. Go away. I'm going to add a file to docs. Business rules.md. Business rules. Feature access. In general, any user activity that consumes billable resources, AI generations, storage space, etc., will be limited to paid users. And I'm going to add a bullet point to that. What even am I doing? In the case of a paid user becoming an unpaid user, any items that they have previously created and saved within the product will remain accessible to them but they will not be able to generate or save new items. And I'm going to pop this in. View existing, free access. Update existing. To be determined. Export, download. free access. Once that feature, once that capability has been added. TBD, capability is on roadmap, but hasn't been added yet. View existing. View filter list. View existing. Roll for, I'm going to say random generation without AI description. Free access. In time, we might need to implement some pruning of saved items that belong to long canceled users. In that case, we'll need to notify them of when their saved items will be deleted from storage and give them a facility by which they can export, download those items they've created. Subscription rules. Subscriptions will automatically renew until a customer explicitly discontinues their payment schedule. Payment will happen on the same calendar day each month in the event that a calendar default behavior for cancellation is to discontinue the automatic billing. Customer will retain full access to all features through the end of their current paid time. Once their renewal date lapses, unpaid subscription being discontinued, they will revert to a free account with the access with feature access as described in that section. Oh, come on. There. I really dislike the lack of scroll bars here. Preview. Let's see how this looks. Feature access. In general, consumes billable resources. Be limited to paid users. Paid user becoming an unpaid user. I want to use different language there. They previously created and saved within the product will remain accessible to them, but they will not be able to generate or save new items. View filter lists, view existing, free access, update, not sure about that. Export, download existing, random generation without AI description, free access. So basically the paid stuff, the only paid stuff that I really care about are the things that are the aspects that cost me money, things that I have to pay Microsoft for. So that's AI token consumption and database use. And really that's about it. So subscriptions will automatically renew until a customer explicitly discontinues the payment schedule. For cancellation is to discontinue the automatic billing. I have some spelling errors, etc. So let's go back to edit. All right. Now, in case of a paid user becoming a free user, any items that they've previously created and saved, yeah. Automatically renew until a customer explicitly customer. That is one of my longest term mistypes ever. Back when I was building a line of business control system for the first company that I worked for as a product developer, I would mistype customer as customer constantly. Drove me crazy. Renewal date lapses, unpaid. Okay. All right. When a customer pauses their subscription, they have access only to free features during the time that their subscription is paused. When a paused subscription renews, access to the controlled features is restored, and their billing date is recalculated to current date plus days remaining. If possible, limit the number of times a subscription can be paused during a calendar year to prevent gaming this capability. Maybe 2 or 3 times per year. And finally, we should limit the duration of a pause period to, I'm gonna say, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. All right. Subscriptions will be priced we will not offer a trial or free period for any of the controlled features. I need to come up with a way to demonstrate those features effectively. Perhaps publish a monthly digest of items that I've created as a marketing newsletter, NPC of the month, perhaps sell large collections of generated items as PDFs periodically. This could become part of a higher tier. That's a neat idea that came to me last night. Is I generate a lot of NPCs while I'm testing and developing and everything like that. And I save them all. And once I've got the PDF export working, it'd be a pretty simple matter for me to generate a PDF file on a periodic basis that contains 50 to 100 generated NPCs, or when I expand into other game world items, the shops that they work at or own, the taverns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all of that stuff. And I could package those up into a PDF and let people subscribe to that PDF on a monthly basis, or perhaps I don't plan to collect people's birthdays unless I'm legally required to for, age regulations and so on and so forth. Like you can't sell to people under 13 or some stuff like that. That might only apply to social media. I'm not sure. But I'm sure there's laws about selling to children. So I might have to collect birth dates. But it'd be a nice thing to have these PDF documents of NPCs and game world items that I've constructed using this system, that say on somebody's birthday, I could say, hey, happy birthday from the DM's Familiar. Here's a collection of items I've built using this system to paid subscribers on their birthdays. People who sign into the free version that just want to use the random generation without the AI. They don't care about saving the NPCs. They just want to roll the dice and pull out those details because they're using it as a creative blockbuster, for lack of a better term. I'm happy to provide this service on a free basis because the hosting cost for the application, the executable code, is going to be a fixed cost. And the Azure App Service can handle thousands of requests per day at the paid tier. So I'm not super worried about that. Again, I think it's 5 regular monthly subscribers, and this thing's hosting is paid for. So, yeah, I don't mind giving away the features that don't use AI generation and don't use up database space because I have to pay for both of those. I don't mind making those available free for known users. Now, you're not going to be able to get access to those features without creating an account and a profile and signing in and giving me your email address. And I don't want to become a spam house, but I would also like to have the ability to say, hey, folks, here's what you can do. Here's what's possible with the paid tier. And that's it. Give them a couple of freebies that I generate during my usage of the application, during my testing and development phases, stuff like that. And, maybe send out 3 or 4 or 3 to 5 NPCs per month to the free people. And that feels like a good way of kind of tickling people's taste buds for that. So I've just created a lot of pixels around subscription rules, feature access, not offer a trial or free period for any of the controlled features. So this is just me brainstorming. I'm gonna brainstorm ideas that happened while documenting. Let's get a preview on this, see how it looks. Okay. Ideas that happen while documenting. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's get back and refocus on pause and resume subscription. Oh, yes, I do want to save. I hope I didn't just lose those. Oh, I just lost everything I did. Like a dope. Oh, You bonehead. Can I go back? No, I can't. Dang blast it. Oh, hated. Whatever. I got the ideas out of my head. I'll try and recover those later. I might be able to take a screenshot from the stream and feed it into Apple Photos and extract the text that way. Maybe. Here's hoping. Oh, I hate when I do stupid things like that. But it happens. All right. Pause and resume. Let's go here. What even are you doing, GitHub? Cancel. Pause and resume. Here we go. Process. Pause, resume. Subscription is always initiated by a person. Navigates the subscription management UI, either within the e-com service or admin system. Date to pause and optional the date to resume. I am going to change that. Well, how do we do superscripts in, here we go, Markdown, superscript. GitHub flavored superscript. Okay. One, if possible, via the ecom service, limit the duration that a subscription can be paused. Also limit the number of times that a subscription may be paused during a calendar year. And let's preview this, see if that worked. Oh, yes. Good, good, good. Perfect. So that's how you do a superscript in Markdown or HTML. You just surround it by sub. And if you want to do a subscript, you would use sub. For instance, so we've got the superscript and then the subscript. See, there we have the subscript. I'm just going to get rid of that. All right, good stuff. Data is sent to the ecom services backend system where it is processed. Ecom system sends an event message to the admin system, blah, blah, blah. Admin system updates the person's local account details. During the pause time, if the person logs in, they will not be able to use any of the paid features of the application. So, we've got our process. Activities. Got lots of room for activities. One, two, three. Receive, pause, receive, subscription paused, setting context, event in webhook, send, pause, subscription, command from admin system, and I'm going to deprioritize that X, V, webhook, one. Webhook receives event from ecom service, external service. 2. Webhook verifies the sender of the event. If valid, 3. If valid, if sender is verified, not verified, return either HTTP 400 or HTTP 403 per third-party services documentation. If sender is verified, validate that the event data is well formed and correctly formatted. Boop out 1. If event data is not well formed, return HTTP 400 to ecom service. May need to confirm this with their documentation. If event data is valid, forward to the administrative API. Receive, pause, receive, subscription paused, no, pause, subscription command at the, no, subscription paused command, event at the administrative API. And it's 11 o'clock. We're going to pick this back up this afternoon. I'm going to try and recover that business rules markdown that I started typing and didn't save like a moron. Yes, it happens to all of us all the time. We'll work away on something and get something to where we're happy about, and we've forgotten to save our work the whole time. And then we go to switch to something else, and we lose all of our brilliant ideas. Um, the upside to that is sometimes there's bad ideas inside that work, and we lose those too. But I'm going to have to try and recover that lost thought work that you watched me perform and then promptly turn into ethereal vapor. um, but I'll see what I can throw together in between sessions. I also never got around to publishing yesterday's sessions over to YouTube, so I got to do that real soon in a second too. We're going to carry on with this exercise this afternoon, and honestly, I foresee us doing this type of work for the remainder of this week. This business analysis, thinking, so on and so forth. And once I've got the use cases that we want to work through, now I also want to get into some of the product management, not just in terms of the local catalog that I'm going to need to be storing with the DM's familiar in my database, because I'm going to need a local copy to act as the system of record for operations within the product itself. The source of truth will be the e-commerce system that I partner with. But I also want to document out the use cases around the AI prompt management functionality that I want to add to this admin system, because by going against a number of different domains within that I want the system to be able to address, I'm going to be able to start finding commonalities in not necessarily the feature that's being presented, but in the capabilities that I need. And the more of those common capabilities that I can discover during this phase, the fewer actual C# components I'm going to have to write. Sounds a little weird, doesn't it? We'll get through it. But I'm going to have to start thinking a little bit more abstractly once I've got these concrete steps documented out. Now, just before I leave, I am committing the changes that we worked on for the pause and update, pause and resume, so that I don't make the same mistake twice within 45 minutes of each other. Because then I'll really give myself the business if I screw that up again so soon after. So I'm gonna bounce and do some like homework stuff. Like the posting of yesterday's streams, posting this stream, and trying to recover that business rule document that I blew up by accident. That was very silly of me. I may not succeed in recovering that document. I might have to rewrite it from scratch, but that'll be okay. I will be back at 1 p.m. unless real life intrudes. It might. Real life is starting to align, so there's some real world stuff that I have to deal with, like people and companies and so on and so forth about within the context of the DM's familiar, that I might decide to go get knocked out today, and that might preempt this afternoon's session if that runs late and I decide to go just get it knocked out before or during that session time instead of waiting until after. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to discuss that with my unpaid CFO. So until this afternoon, and I really do want to try and do a session this afternoon if scheduling and my ADHD brain allows me to. But we'll pick up where we left off. And until then, take care of yourselves. Drink some water, not just things that have water in them. Try and go outside and look at something green. Eat some tasty food, and